Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're starting the quarter-acre pond dig. And what a beautiful day we have to start it. It is raining and the field is wet. Hun ducks, it's kind of a duck and goose kind of day, isn't it? You're out of the water enjoying the rain. Now the first step in the pond expansion that we're going to be doing on the duck pond is to strip all the topsoil off. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So we're going to have some time lapses of the backhoe taking off the sod layer and then carrying off all the clean topsoil underneath. And then we should have a nice clean layer of clay to work with. Now we already got started out here, so I'm going to throw you back, get you all caught up, and then we have some French drains we need to dig out before we can go any further. And hopefully we don't get too much of this rain right now to make everything a mess. I'll see you in a little bit. Here stripping topsoil, and before he gets to this point, I just wanted to highlight it. This was our pitcher's mound whenever we used to have a baseball field back here when we were kids. You can see how it's kind of mounded up there. We used to jump the little dirt bike over this too, and he is soon going to be taking this out. That is actually going to become part of the dam right here on the edge of the pond. The corner of the pond is going to be right here. We're going to have a dam going up that straight line, and then it's going to actually L and wrap around this low corner. I'm not sure how high we have to build it yet. We have to figure out where water level is going to be, but we're going to be doing that after all the topsoil is stripped off and we have a good look at the shape of the pond. And then I can go through and paint all the lines where I want all the different depths to be. It's a process. Huh, Pop? You trying to play golf ball? I think we found one. We dug it up already. Good boy. That's not the first one we dug up. Look at this. Takes the topsoil level off and we have another golf ball right here. Oh, Pop, what's that? You lost it, didn't you? Just like I lost my coffee cup. I had my green coffee cup in my truck and I ended up losing it today somehow. I went and got fuel for the backhoe and I lost my coffee cup. And a full cup of coffee, so I had to make a second one this morning. Huh, Sedgwick? But we're gonna be stripping topsoil. Enjoy. Huh, Pop, this is looking like a pretty big area, isn't it? We have almost the whole area stripped of topsoil that we're going to be expanding the new pond to. You can see this area is down to the clay level and he still has some topsoil to strip over this area, but he has the sod level off. But before we go any further, we have a wet spot right now and the French drains are actually draining my existing pond. So we need to get these dug out. We have one right there and I think one right beside it. And we need to get these French drains dug out and plugged so it stops draining the pond. And if you missed last video, we have Goose Egg Island created. So make sure to go back and check that out. Make sure you get all the updates here on the new duck pond expansion. But I gotta put a new battery in the GoPro and then we can start digging these French drains out and try and save the pond from flooding and making a mess. Huh, Pop? What a day to finally break the drought. Huh, Pop? She's flowing. The French drains here are a few decades old and they are still working. I guess they had a plug in them because they weren't working, but once we cut that plug out whenever we did the island here, it ended up springing the leak and now they're flowing again, draining my pond. So we're gonna dig these French drains out and then just backfill with clay for now to keep it all plugged up until we dig the big hole. It looks like this is the one that's the problem. The leak is stopped. Well, my mom took a walk on the road and found my coffee cup. We were down a full cup of coffee. I didn't even get my first sip out of it. That's unfortunate. We still have a light rain coming down right now, but I think he has the French drains out and plugged with some clay. He's starting to pack in Goat Mountain. That's where all the clay is going to be going that we're going to be digging out of the pond. Once Goat Mountain is completely filled up, we'll top it with topsoil, and then we'll probably have to truck the rest of the dirt out. I have some other areas that we're going to be building up with the dirt that we take out of the pond dig, but I definitely don't have enough projects to use up all the dirt that we have, so we're probably going to have to truck some of it out, and we'll probably take it up to my brother's. He has a low area that he wants to fill in, and I might have the dirt to fill it. But hopefully he has the leak stopped on the pond now. We're going to be getting more rain today, and I don't know how much more topsoil he's going to be able to get out without making too much of a mess. But we're getting a good view now on how big the pond's actually going to be. And this is the only rain we're expecting right now, so it should dry up this week. And ducks. I think Mumbles and her ducks are going to love it out there in the mud. They're just waiting to get outside. I see you, birds. But I'm holding off on letting them out because they like to get right up underneath the backhoe. And with it raining like this, they're going to be all over the place, and it's going to be really hard to do any operating. But hopefully you plug the leak on the pond and we can continue taking off topsoil. Piece by piece. It's a process. Alright, well yesterday we got rained out, but I'm back here today and things are starting to dry up. And out there underneath the pine tree, the sod pow is getting big. We're gonna let that sit over winter, and then hopefully in the spring it's gonna be a lot more easy to spread. And that's not the only pow either. We have another pow started in the food forest. Getting pretty big as well. So when you're digging a pond, it is important to figure out what soil you're going to be taking out, but it's also important to figure out where that soil is going to be going. And since I'm not creating a really tall dam for this pond, it has to go somewhere else. And I've made plans for most of the topsoil and a lot of the dirt, but we do have to figure out where we're going to put the rest of the dirt. And I think I'm going to have to truck it out to my brother's farm where he has a low spot that he wants to fill in. And that's going to be a process. And even though we're not finished, you can really get the scope of the full size of the pond that we're trying to dig out. If things go to plan, like I said, this should be right around a 1/4 acre when it's done. But we're gonna have an L-shaped dam here. It's gonna be coming down this line to the corner. We're gonna have a nice thick corner, and then it's gonna go up the curve around to the barn. We're actually gonna have our beach up there in the corner. Now the main pond dig is probably gonna happen first, and then there's gonna be some side projects that we're gonna be doing after, like the beach. We're also going to have to make a boat dock or a pier. We're going to have a boat launch ramp too for some smaller boats. But I also want to throw a thank you to Heidi for the hand-bound notebook she sent in that I'm drawing out all my ideas in. It's been real helpful. But we still have a lot of topsoil to pull out. My dad actually stopped right here where you can see it's a little bit thicker. This is all nice clay. And then we still have all this clean topsoil that we're going to be taking out. Now, since this is clay, you can see it's already holding water. We got a little bit of rain yesterday, and you can see we still have a lot of puddles over here. Now, I'm trying to check this area over here because this is the backside of the French drain that was starting to pull some water out of the pond. The French drains end somewhere inside the garden bed here, and this had a puddle there this morning, so I'm really happy to see it actually drained out. And that means the French drains are probably plugged off and they're not pulling any more water here from the pond. We had to dig them up here actually past where the dam is going to be so they don't bother the new pond expansion. These are actually probably over 20 years old, and we figured they were all plugged up, but whenever we dug out Goose Egg Island there, we ended up breaking it open so the plug got free and it started draining the pond. We had a whirlpool in the pond draining all the water out, so we ended up digging that French drain out of there, and my dad plugged it with some heavy clay. We thought we had that completely plugged in, but then the next day whenever we came out, it looked like the other drain was still pulling some water out. So we decided to dig the French drains up and get them completely out of the pond project area we're working in. So we cut them all the way back outside of the pond project working zone, and we have them plugged off here, and it looks like those are holding. This is the low point of the project right now since we still have topsoil up there, but once this all gets taken out, that bottom corner is going to be the low point, and that's going to be the highest point of the dam. But as you can tell, it's not going to be a very high dam. I'm just trying to get the water level about a foot below the surface of the island. And right now the water level is about a foot lower than where we had it before we dug out Goose Egg Island. So whenever the pond is full, it's about a foot higher than where the water level is now. So I want to take it about another foot even higher than that. And the only reason the water level isn't coming up any higher is because this side is low, so it just spills right over. We have a completely full pond and then it just overflows. So I think once we get the dam built here, we can pretty much set the water level anywhere we want it. Big wings! Where you going, birds? They come out, they do a little bit of swimming and splashing around. They did some foraging in the dirt here, but I think they're ready to head over to the food forest and get some grass. Good job, Rufio. All the birds are heading out. Now my plan is to make the highest point of the dam, which is going to be down here in the corner, about flush with the island. That way we'll be about the same height and we can have a low profile dam. And then whenever the pond's completely full, the water level will be about a foot lower than the dam and a foot lower than the island and a foot lower than the golf green that we're building over there. Like I said, lots of side projects. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. I am going to have to get that giant pumpkin cut open here soon, see if I can harvest the seeds out of that, and then we're going to be taking it up and sharing it with the animals. But he has the sod taken off pretty much the entire lower part of the pond here, so you can really see the size, but we are going to be taking it behind the island too. We want water wrapping all the way around Goose Egg Island. So out here behind Goose Egg Island, there still is more to do. We're going to have to strip the sod and the topsoil back here as well. This is where the golf green is going to be. It's going to be pretty much a circle right here jutting into the water right underneath Goat Mountain. So we want the water wrapping between the golf green and the island. It'll go around and come back on the other side. But since I'm going to be renting large machines to dig out the main portion of the pond here, we are going to try and get the main portion dug out first. And if we have time, we can continue it around the island. And if we don't have time, at least we'll have the biggest portion dug out and then we can do the rest with the backhoe. So I am hoping we can dig the entire pond in a weekend with the rented machines because it's going to be a lot easier with the big machines. But I've already taken off 3 side projects just so we have time to dig the main portion of the pond. We have the sand beach I'm going to be doing, we have a bog filter, and a waterfall feature. So make sure to subscribe down below so you can follow along with the entire duck pond expansion. Hump up. And since we're getting a lot of topsoil from this pond project, I am able to use it in other places, and we are amending the squash mound over here, building it up bigger and better. And if you want to see us work on that, check out my other channel, Whitt Acres Nature at Home, that has all my gardening and aquatics. I do have the full koi pond built on my Whitt Acres Nature at Home channel and all the fish stuff. But since this pond is for the ducks, we're making this one on the Homestead channel. But that's going to be all for this one. It's going to be a process to dig out this duck pond, but I'm going to bring you along for the entire project. And if you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave. And if you want to help support the channel even more, check out that join button and my website, whittacresdesigns.com, for nature-inspired designs on merchandise. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.